Shalom Akim. First and foremost, give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, B'Shem Kodash. The honors under the elders, Apostles Great Millstone, the elders of Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. The sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, serving him in truth and sincerity. Yes, on the brother Chayabo from GMS Plaintables camp, coming back with another lesson to his spirit. Yes, this lesson be based on the topic that we will need divine intervention. You know, it's going through the spirit, watching pretty much, the apostles and what they brought out this precept right here. Which, of course, says, Daniel chapter 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Of course, what is that time of trouble speaking about? You know, the time of trouble is ultimately referring on to Jacob's trouble. You know, of course, what these times that we are in right now, of course, we understand how we are at the end, but very, very soon. And, you know, it's a lot of things happening as we speak. A lot of different judgments that Yahweh Shai has already sent forth among the world. And, you know, just different things that are happening. But they're only going to continue to increase. Yahweh Shai spoke about in Matthew chapter 24, about what the famines, the pestilences, the earthquakes, yeah, and of course, wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. All that's already happening, but it's going to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse until it reaches its climax, and at that point, obviously, what we're going to need divine intervention, because it's going to get so bad out here. You know, Esau's going to be coming down like a madman, sparing none. Of course, eventually Esau is going to, which is very soon, Esau will mandate the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID CHIP. Well, he's gonna mandate it. And then it's going to get to a point where not only will you not be able to buy or sell, but ultimately he's going to seek to put you to death. He's going to throw you in a concentration camp, tempt you with a guillotine or whatever means that he will use to try to make you take it. But at that point, Yahweh Shai will have to give us divine intervention, especially, you know, with this upcoming famine, where all stores and everything will be shut down. You know, pretty much a mass lockdown. Well, of course, you know, the 2020 lockdown was nothing compared to what's about for the next one. Yeah, it says, such as never since, yes, so it says, to read again, Daniel chapter 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was sent for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. It says, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book. Yeah. And this is going to be like a time never, because, hey, think about it, with all this technology that Esau has and all these just new futuristic things, and, you know, Esau's, his weaponry, his tanks, his lasers, his fighter jets, his, you know, nukes, his bombs and missiles or whatever. Hey, obviously, without a doubt, this will be like a time never before. Once all hell breaks loose. You know, we have different movies like The Purge and these different, pretty much, movies that, you know, pretty much going to end time events, pretty much. And what? All that's going to happen very soon. It says, yes, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And it says, and at that time that people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book. Yeah, and of course, you know what, we're going to need deliverance, ultimate deliverance, because Yahweh Hashem Yeshua will be preserving us within Jacob's trouble. Of course, Yahweh will be part of the elect, and we're worthy. But what, the ultimate deliverance is when Yahweh Shai comes back to deliver his elect from that nuclear destruction that Babylon the Great will go through. And it will be destroyed 100%. Babylon the Great being America. So the elect within America, the elect Israelites, to what, they will have to be delivered. And what, this destruction is going to be like a destruction never witnessed before as well. You know, Sodom and Gomorrah isn't going to compare to what Yahweh Hashem Yeshua will bring upon Babylon the Great for its wickedness and for its transgressions against the earth, against the Lord's people, against the Lord himself. Which, of course, Esau, he's the main one running Babylon the Great. So what, Yahweh Hashem Yeshua, Isaiah chapter 63, Yahweh is coming back to tread down on the wicked, to tread down upon Edom, upon Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man. You know, and the Israelites being the so-called blacks, and the Americans, Latinos. And of course, you have our people scattered amongst the other nations. So you're going to have our people coming with the appearance as the other nations. Hey, what? But ultimately, if you're able to understand this truth, if you have the spirit of an Israelite, then you're an Israelite, because only Israelites, people who go back onto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, pretty much had the spirit of an Israelite. It says, and at that time, that people should be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book. Yeah, which means the elect. So only the elect will be the ones delivered. The elect are the ones who are predestined to receive salvation. It says Joel chapter 2 and 32. Or we can start at verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord Yahweh come. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord Yahweh, it says that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai hath said, and in the remnant who the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall call. Or ultimately, you know, of course we understand how the Heavenly Father Yahweh, what he pretty much chooses, or yeah, of course the Lord has already predestined who would be saved. So what, Yahushua will simply be delivering the elect. You know, obviously they already know who's a part of the remnant, you know, who's a part of the elect. Of course, what, Yahushua will follow through to deliver the elect. But what the point is that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord Yahweh, not only just, of course, the Heavenly Father, but through his Son, Yahushai, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And what that goes to show you how important the name of the Lord is, because you can't call upon just using any name. God, Jesus, those are titles, or God, of course, is a title meaning power within the Hebrew. Going back to the Hebrew word Allah, which means power. Jesus not even being, what really Jesus being a invented word. You know, pretty much way after the Messiah was on earth. Of course, when you go into the Paleo Hebrew, the Messiah's name is Yahushai, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew. So what, you're going to need those names to be delivered. The Lord's not going to be saving people who are calling upon God and Jesus, pretty much what the name that our oppressors gave us. Because, you know, well, before, of course, Esau conquered us and put us in slavery and overtook us as a people. You know, we weren't calling upon God and Jesus. So those are new. Again, those are Esau's gods that he polluted us with. You know, of course, the modern depiction, or pretty much, you know, when people refer onto God, they're referring mainly onto the Christian, the plantation Christianity God, which is a weak God. That you know, that's a weak God. That's not the same God from of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that's mentioned within the scriptures. You know, the power that's mentioned within the scriptures is the complete opposite that they present to you, you know, in plantation Christianity. What the Lord is a power to be feared. Al-Shadia, meaning demon-like power. That's what the other nations describe the Lord to be, a demon-like power, because he was so vicious with his judgment, but doing it in 100% righteousness, because the Lord judges the wicked, you know, the wickedness upon the planet Earth. So it says, yeah, as the Lord said, and yes, as the Lord Yahweh hath said, and the remnant whom the Lord Yahweh shall call. So there you have it. For Mount Zion, and yeah, to read that again, it says, for Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, and that's the point. The second Ezra chapter 16 and 73, it says, then they shall be known who are my chosen. It says, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Yeah, because it's not going to be, you know, pretty much walk in the park onto the kingdom. No, it's again, you know, we're going to have to pass through these things as well, through Jacob's trouble, through trials and tribulations. And, you know, we're already passing through our course is going to get a lot worse from here on out. And what the point is that we're going to have to pass through it. You know, what the Christians or the anti-Christians would tell you is that, you know, we're going to be delivered, or pretty much the Lord's going to deliver his chosen before the trials and tribulations, which is false. We will have to pass through Jacob's trouble. Because then, you know, within Jacob's trouble, that's when Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai will be showing forth his miracles, you know, and showing forth power, or his power. You know, why he's to be feared, and why he's to be reverenced. Just like how the Lord did in Egypt, ancient Egypt, the Lord's going to do the same thing, but even on a greater scale, because again, the times that we're coming to is going to be like a time never before. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai will bring greater miracles and greater things, and greater deliverance for his elect. It says, verse 74 of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, it says, hear ye, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, for I will deliver you from the same. Yeah, there you have it. So the days of trouble are at hand, but the Lord will deliver us from the same. The days of trouble. When all hell breaks loose, Jacob's trouble. It says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt before. Or it says, be neither, it's like it says, be ye not afraid. So verse 75, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. So there you have it. So, you know, we're commanded not to doubt or be afraid. The scriptures command us to be courageous, you know, and to be strong in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. As scriptures say, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. Those who are righteous, not to butcher it. We can go ahead and end it off right there. It says, Proverbs chapter 18 and 10, it says, the name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. See? So going to the name of the Lord, how important it is. But again, we have it. Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai has given us his name. What is his name? What is his son's name? If thou canst tell. And obviously Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai has given it onto us, because we know what the Hebrew is his language. the language of the heavens, the ancient Paleo-Hebrew is the language of the heavens, of course, the language of the scriptures, but ultimately what our people spoke. It says, yeah, the name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Yeah, and of course, yeah, and of course, the texts are pretty much, most of the texts you'll find now is, or of course, the Hebrew, you're going to find a lot of it in the Syrian Hebrew, but there are pretty much inscriptions of the Paleo-Hebrew as well. You going back onto, or you can even use pretty much the Las Luna stones, pretty much over here. I believe pretty much it's some, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like in the Midwest or somewhere around there. Las Luna stones. Let's go and look that up. Yeah, New Mexico. Yeah, so in Paleo-Hebrew, that's the Paleo-Hebrew font. But yeah, that's the point. The point is that we will need divine intervention. Of course, so within these times, because it's going to be like time never before. And the righteous will call upon Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. Of course, not only call upon his name, but they will also have, the works and the faith. That's, or what the scriptures command us to do the word of the Lord, which is what? To believe and to do what he said to do. That's, of course, what fulfilling the will of Yahweh Shai, to keep his commandments, and what? To believe as well. And to call upon his name, his true name. Which ultimately that's what the elect will do. So Lord's will, you will let to the edified, Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai, Bashim Kakwadash Brakathum, Shalom.